Hi there. I'm back on this funny bit of pasture. It is hard work. There is no hot area. I've dug up a lot of cartridges and rifle rounds, surprise, surprise. I've even dug up a nice little bag seal of sorts, so I don't think it's very old. But it just does feel right, and we did find some Roman coins here when I was last here. And I've just got to do it quite carefully, but not stupidly carefully. Someone the other day said that they were on a new field. How would one go about it? Do one bit very, very carefully or gallop around like I do? Now, I think the answer to that is you must do what makes you happy. If you really like doing things very methodically, very carefully, even at the first time, then do it that way. If, like me, that would annoy you until you found a good area, do it another way. Do it in the way that makes you happiest, because that's the way that will put you in the right mindset. If you're always worried that you're not doing it the right way, or you're covering your tracks, or you're not covering them enough, your mind's on different other things. It's not going to work. Detect the way that makes you most comfortable and most relaxed. That's the way to do it. And just down here, I mean, I'm absolutely blown away. I'll plug you in later. I didn't even know if I was going to record. Look at this. Now, haven't completely properly cleaned it yet, because from this side I can see it's a brooch. It's a tiny brooch. It is amazing how small they've made these sometimes, because I can see a catch there and I can see where the spring would have gone there. So now I know that I can turn it round and give it a little wipe, and look at all that fabulous colour coming out. Now I don't know. I've been out here about an hour and a half. It's the first decent thing I found. And what a thing. I might go home now. I don't care if I don't find anything else. Now, I don't know if that's Saxon or Roman. I really don't know. I wouldn't really want to hazard a guess, but there's lovely reds and yellows and turquoises and blues, and it's in fairly good condition. So that's just wonderful. Now, also, thank you all so much for your tips on how to bring out enamel, etc. on these things. We'll take this back to headquarters to have a closer look at it. We've got to. There's a bit of rain in the air as well, so I don't really want to be filming. I don't want the camera stuff to be out for too long. Anyway, let's go. Hi there, welcome to headquarters. It's very, very changeable, the weather outside, and with this camera, it doesn't do very well on auto ISO. So if I suddenly go very dark or very, very light, it's because the sun's going in and out behind those clouds. Anyway, sorry, enough of that, all that rubbish. Let's have a quick look at this brooch. Now, God, that field is coming up trumps. It is hard work. It is very, very, very big, and there doesn't seem to be a particularly hot area, but there's stuff there. It's been very, very hot and dry in this country recently, so I can't get on that pasture. I could go on it, but I don't really want to. You don't do grass any good if you're digging it when it's really dry like this. So I'm just going to wait for it to get a bit wet again and then have another go. But I'm looking forward to it. Now, at the time, I wasn't sure if it was Saxon Roman, and I've got a couple here, which I've been fortunate enough to find recently to show you what I mean. Now, this one here, turns out it's Roman. It's earlier. It's 2nd century AD. And this is just to compare them. This is one I was really lucky to have found quite recently. And it's a Saxon one. And the difference really is that this one has got, it's quite raised. It's quite thick in shape. You can see quite a decent amount of gilded rim going round the side there, and it's got to be 2 or 3 millimeters deep, that which gives it a sort of, and the back as well. My God, it just looks modern, doesn't it? But the whole thing is quite raised. It comes in sort of 2 sections, and it's sort of raised in the center where the enameling all fits in, or the cloisonné enameling. This little Roman one we found on the day is much, much flatter. And I had a look in Pathat's brooches. This is the visual catalogue of what is contained in all 4 volumes of his. I've only got the 1 volume just there. And both brooches, which I'm illustrating with here, that neither of them are in the book, the single book that I've got. But here it is, here. 1047. It's part of disc brooches flat with peripheral lugs. It's got 10 peripheral lugs, and there it is. And you can see, we can ID it fairly easily because it's got It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pins around it and a central sort of bronze section there. And it's just the most incredible brooch. It would have been absolutely beautiful. You can see lots of blue and red and yellow enameling, all in fairly good condition. All that's actually survived quite well. I haven't treated this at all. I haven't put anything on it. It doesn't really need it. We've got the hinge on the back there where the pin would have gone, and the catch where, God, I haven't even cleaned all the mud out. And the catch which would have caught it, which would have catched it just there. And another main difference is this is 600 years later, if not more. I think that's 10th, 11th century. And this little enameling one's there. Now, here is the other enamel brooch, Roman brooch we found, much bigger, but again, I think dates to roughly the same time, so the 2nd century AD. It's bigger. The enameling hasn't survived quite as well. And I found them very, I didn't find them at all close to each other. But there's 2 different types of Roman enamel brooch, and I'm absolutely thrilled. Now, I had a quick look on the Portable Antiquities scheme. Some people do sort of ask me about my sort of love-hate relationship with the Portable Antiquities scheme, and if I have a bad relationship with them, then why do I even use their website? Well, good point. I do have a love-hate relationship with the Portable Antiquities scheme. I don't particularly agree with the way the whole system runs, mainly due to my own experiences, but they do have a bloody good website. I mean, I can't fault them for that. And part of it is because we do show them what we find. A little bit of my gripe is I don't think they should try and insist, or not insist, but encourage us giving them everything. Because if we give them every single thing we find, down to every tiny little cut quarter we find, then they're obviously there's too much work for them. And that's why a lot of you are going to have the same experiences as me. Things take 6 or 7 years to go through the treasure process, or in many cases not even back at all, because they've got too much to deal with. And hi Task, you come up.
Someone's been outside with his ball. Go on. They got too much to deal with, and now they're insisting, and now they're encouraging even more stuff to go forward, and the Treasure Act and the treasure process to incorporate a wider catchment of stuff that we find. Anyway, I won't bore you with all that now, but it is a little bit of a thing. But here we go. I looked up from here. I actually got a really good description. Disc brooch, flat with peripheral lugs. They shoved all that into the search, and it didn't take long to come up with this one. And it's very, very similar. Again, as I love to say, not quite as nice as my one. The enameling isn't as good, but to cut a story short, a copper alloy Roman British enamelled flat disc brooch dating to 80 to 250 AD. And it's very, very similar in size and weight, because I've weighed it, 4.9 grams, this is 4.5. And there it is. Very, very similar thing. So basically, 1st to 2nd century Romano-British brooch, and a bloody nice one at that.
Thank you very much for listening to all that, and let's go back to the fields where we find some other really, really cool things. I mean, as I said, it's going to be brilliant, that bit of field, but it's going to be hard work. But the stuff there, really good stuff there.
Hooray! It's not much to look at, I don't think, but I think that must be a little Roman coin. Because what else would it be? It's not Celtic. It's not Saxon. I don't know. I don't think it's silver. And there's that ahead there. I think it is, isn't it? It's a little barbarous. Nothing. That's not going to win any Roman coin awards. But it's a good sign. It's a really nice sign, because it's hard work at the moment. Well, there's a bit of rain in the air at the moment, so I'm not setting up the cameras just yet. And look at this. I wasn't expecting this, because I'm finding sort of Roman stuff at the moment. But that is... No, I think that's an Irish halfpenny, with the monarch in the triangle like that. I think it might be Edward the and they're the first Irish harping. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? And on the other side, now I think it might be a little bit clipped there, but not here. Now I think they're Dublin, most of these, if it is what I think it is. Civitas, DUB there, just at the top there. Wowee, what a lovely little coin. Beautiful little hammered coin, and tiny, look. Only fits on the edge. I don't have big fingers, as you probably know, look. Fits lovely there. Fits very nicely just there. Well, this gave us sound, my God. I'll plug you in quickly, just so that you can hear it. I should have recorded it live, really, because it was quite an obvious good sound. If that makes any sense. It definitely wasn't iron. It could easily have been lead, but it was very, very strong, very powerful. Listen to that. Now, I mean, it's sort of crotal bell territory. Now, I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to take this all out again. It's so much rain in the air at the moment. I don't really want to be doing too much live digging, and this works quite well. Even then, you could hear it through it being in the bag. Now look, it's a solid piece of bronze, but I think it's quite early. Now, I'm not sure if it's a strap end or part of a buckle, or exactly what's going on, but it's very ornate and very let's just get some of this mud off. It sort of does go round slightly. Now, would that have had a pin in it or something? I just don't know, but it's just another wonderful artifact from this area. I mean, last time I was here, I found that beautiful sort of bird M-shaped brooch. Well, this is on that sort of par. I don't know if that's a wolf or a dog's head or something, whether it's Saxon, Roman, medieval, just don't know. But that's just really rather wonderful and rather beautiful, and something, you know, very unusual. So, or are they crosses? God knows. Let's go back to headquarters, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to film out here for today. I don't know how long I'm going to stay out. If it gets much wetter, we're going to have to stop. Okay, let's go.
Hi there, and welcome back to headquarters to have a look at this. Now, I put it on the detecting hub as soon as I got back. And even though I think this is absolutely wonderful, it slightly got drowned out by this incredible sort of bird-shaped, M-shaped brooch, which we found in a recent video as well. So I don't think it quite got the exposure it should have done, because I think it's absolutely wonderful. But the mighty warlock electors ID'd it very quickly as a Saxon Stirrup Mount. Now, we found a couple of these recently as well, including this one, which I didn't know was a Saxon Stirrup Mount until I started looking them up. And this sort of thing is a bit more common. I thought that was almost postmodern, because I found it in an area I found absolutely nothing else in. It's an area I know really well. It's a field I like being on, but I don't find anything on it. And then suddenly this popped up. But back to this. It looks to have, I think, 3 heads on it, whether they're dogs' heads or horses' heads or some sort of animal. I just don't know. But the Saxons were very prone to putting animals and stuff on items like this. It didn't take long on Google to come up with some very similar things. They all look very similar, but there's nothing quite like this. But as we discussed in the previous video as well quite recently, is how did these work? And the best place to go is to the Colchester metal detecting website, where they've got a brilliant illustration of exactly how one works. So that's where it is. It would have gone on that section there, which joins the leather strap to the actual stirrup itself. As I said, I have bored you with this quite recently, but it's the image on the right here, which has the cross section. You can see exactly how it works and why and how this bit here comes round at the end, because what it's doing, it's actually holding the leather section before it hits the metal section of the stirrup. So it's really rather an ornate thing. It's got the most beautiful patina on it, very, very sort of dark brown. I could probably do with a little bit more cleaning. I haven't done anything to it at all. But that's what it is. So it's 10th, 11th century bit of Saxon kit for joining the leather to the actual stirrup itself, and I'm completely thrilled with it. I mean, it's a really, really beautiful thing. So thank you very much. Well, we have to dig this live because it's possibly the best signal I've had all day. So let's just get this sorted. If the camera's very bright at the moment, it's because it's such a gloomy day. I've adjusted the aperture to let some more light in, so it might be too bright. Don't be fooled, it's not bright at all, it's horrible. Right, now listen to this. Now this has got to be good. It's not a cartridge. It's small, but not too small. I've dug up some tiny bits of lead shot today. I mean quite big lead shot. I think probably for sort of wildfowl, geese and stuff like that. But so really, really small buzzy sounds near the surface I'm avoiding. But I'm not avoiding that. That's got to be a coin, hasn't it? Just got to be. Got to be. Pinpointing well today. I always tell you when I'm pinpointing well, I tell you when I'm pinpointing badly. Yay, it is, it's a little coin. Hooray! Just had to be, didn't it? Just so nice when you find, I think it might be silver even. It's a lovely little Roman coin. It's just so refreshing when you get a signal in a place like this that you know 100% isn't going to be a cartridge, and then it's got a really good chance because they just have been. Now that is just beautiful. Now I think that might be silver, or if it's not silver, it's very silvered still, which these little follises, which is a little 4th century follis, they were all had silver on them, and it's not silver but it has got silver on it. I suspect it's Constantine the Great. It's in beautiful condition, and on the other side we have, do you know what, I'm not sure because I can't really make it out. I think it's winged victories either side of an altar, I think. Whoa. That's really, we found some absolutely amazing things today so far, but that's sort of target wise, knowing that it was going to be good. That's my favourite so far. Well, it's another little Roman coin which has definitely seen better days. I don't know how that's going to clean up. Is that the head on that side, the monarch? It's hard to tell. It's been a bit squashed as well by the look of it. That might clean up. It is quite sandy, this soil. And I don't know what's going on that side. I mean, it's got to be Roman, hasn't it? I can't think of what else it would be. I always say that, but it might clean up. We'll see. But just another lovely sign. Hooray! I've only got one camera out with me today. It's quite a walk to get here, and I didn't want to lug the tripod and everything with me for nothing. I slightly wish I had now, because this one's running out of batteries. But now we're back in cartridge territory. This is borderline, and that's why we're digging it. It's very soft sounding, isn't it? I must have dug 10, 15. I'm not really, if this is one, I'm not digging this sound anymore because just can't be bothered. Eventually you've got to, just in case there's something, but not when you first start to feel you don't have to. I mean, I'm a great believer, you know I am. You don't have to dig everything. You really don't have to dig everything. As I said right at the beginning of the video, detect how it makes you happy. If it makes you happy to dig absolutely everything, even though you know 99.9% it's going to be something you don't like, a cartridge, because you're in a very cartridgey area, then don't. No, it wasn't a cartridge. It's just a horrible piece of wire of sorts. Gosh, that's big, isn't it?
But that's what made that sound. Jumping around all over the place, isn't it? Horrible thing. Right. Because it's a bit rainy, etc. I think we'll stop the live digs for the time being. This gave a very, very odd signal. I have no idea what it is. Very flat. Definitely not silver. Otherwise silver that size would have sounded fabulous. But it's not. That does remind me of something. I can't think. It's obviously broken off something. Is there anything on the foot? Gosh, I don't. It looks like an axe head, but it's not. And it might be something very modern for all I know. I don't know. It does feel familiar. And as I said, it gave a very odd sound. I don't think that's very special. I think that's fairly modern. Well, my God, I would never have dug this live. Listen. I mean, it sounds horrible, but I think it's a thimble. I think not only do I think it's a thimble. Look at that lovely, brilliant, it's incredible for flint, this field, and lots of fields around it. I think it's an early one without the top. I think it's just I mean, gosh, and it's very conical, so has it lost its top? Either way, I think that's quite an early thimble. And for those who know me well enough, you know I'm not crazy about thimble. But I don't mind finding these early ones, I must say. And that's lovely, absolutely lovely. It just pretty much crowns off a really lovely day, crown quite literally. It's whether it's lost its top or never had one. I just don't know on that. I think possibly lost it, but I do think it's quite early as well. So I'm absolutely thrilled with that. I'm going to call it a day quite soon, so that's lovely. Well, another little Roman coin, hooray! Now that to me looks quite barbarous, because it's a funny face, isn't it? Very, very unusual. But then I turned it over and there's quite a lot of legend on the other side. I don't know what it says, but barbarous coins don't tend to have legible lettering on that side. Very, very rarely. It's all gobbledygook, generally speaking. But that looks to me a bit more serious. But then the face on that side doesn't at all. So I don't know about that coin. But very charming, whatever. It looks like the emperor spearing the fallen horseman or whatever it is, that type. But it's a 4th century Roman bronze. Well, I'm back on the field I was in last time when I found that incredible thing, last dig. Just doing a bit which I haven't done as much. Look at this charming buckle. I've never found that type before. Gosh. There are things in. This is a field where I found a skeet in the last video. Field I've done an awful lot, but not right next to the electric fence here very much. So I'm just doing this. So I found that skeet and now that. So we'll probably do one more live dig from here. And when I come across another tiny signal, because it might be, again, rather wonderful. Well, this is going to be the last one of the day. And it's not a tiny little squeaker, but it is something I've missed. It's possibly a cartridge. Back to the electric fence, can you hear? See, it's a little bit too scratchy, isn't it? But I have just found this. Very close to where that now it doesn't look like much, does it? And I didn't think it was much, but it's the side of a Saxon brooch. 100%. Hi there, very quickly, I forgot to, at the time, to do a photograph of this, but just to show you what I mean. Now,
This tiny little thing, which looks so inconspicuous, is the nodule. It's part of a typical side to a Saxon brooch, and I'll show you what I mean very quickly. I won't keep you long because otherwise this video is going to go on for too long. But look, that's what it is. There's one there on the top of these cruciform brooches, and there's ones where they're missing in his thing. They're all over the place. They're there. They go on the top or the sides of cruciform brooches. And they look like they might have fallen off a piece of modern machinery, but they're not. They're really early. So they can go back to the 6th, 7th century, perhaps even earlier. So if you're finding little tiny little nodules, beautifully made, in fact, I found a really good silver one the other day, and which looked like a bit of aluminium rubbish off the side of something, but it's not. That's what they are. They're little bits off Saxon brooches, so don't throw them away. So that's really, really cool. I'm thrilled with that too. And it's time for me to go home, so beggars can't be choosers. This is not the perfect signal to end on by any means. But it's been a fabulous day. God, I've enjoyed it. Well, that might be where the scratchiness was coming from, because there's a bit of iron in the clod there. It sounds really horrible. It sounds like that thimble. I don't have any hope for it, I'm afraid, but it's deep though. It's going to be a big bit of lead, or it's going to be a rifle round, or something horrible like that. Because it's still there. God, making me work on the last one. I'm tired now, I've been out a long time. Gosh. Well, it's a long way down. I think it's going to be lead. Sounding like that at that depth. That was a bit of flint I was scraping against. God, I'm making a real mess. I am sorry. That's what it is. Oh, after all that. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. Something I haven't found before, and it's a big bit of unusually shaped lead. In fact, I think it goes round. I think it opens. Yeah, it does. Well, do you know what? That might be something. Who knows? We'll clean it up and then put it in the lead thing. But thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.